Let's go. Yes, looks like the stream's actually set up for on the first go. Let me just share this. Right, good morning, everyone. Welcome. Nearly at the halfway point of Tier 5 White here. Just trying to find where we were at the end of the Red Bull Ring. Really close championship, this one. Fracas got his first podium in that crazy last lap of the Red Bull Ring that we looked at last night. And he is leading the championship by 3 points ahead of Blade Runner, the winner of the feature race. He's got a 5-point lead, Fracas, ahead of Leadfoot, who got a P1 and a P2, which really made up for Nürburgring the week before, where he had 2 P13s. So finding a bit of consistency. Actually finished on the podium 3 times out of 6 races, Leadfoot. So if he can get a bit more consistent, could definitely put a challenge together. Jinx dropped down to 4th place in the chat standings after finishing 10th and 6th at Red Bull Ring. Revelit, a 2nd and 5th, promoted him into 5th place in the standings. SD had a couple of big incidents in Red Bull Ring, didn't get some many points at all, dropped down to 6th. Fred Monster Absolute, who finished 13th and 14th. Felipe Mazda had a decent one. Beyond Shook, 2 P12s, and Unamo is in 11th, despite only racing a single time. Ferrari, top of the constructors by 35 points, which is quite a big lead for this stage. So we'll have to wait and see what happens here. We're at Lago Maggiore. We've got 8 laps for this one. Let's go through the grid and see where everyone has shook out. Give me a quick second. Okay, so making their debut in ALR, we got Andy, new Romanian driver. He's in the Suzuki VGT, qualified in last place for his debut in ALR, just behind Quackhouse in the Z4. Looks like the Z4s, well, I know for a fact, because of commentating Tier 3, the Z4s suck at Lago Maggiore. So seeing Quackhouse 15th and SD 14th is not a surprise at all. Let me just get the stream up so that I can see if anyone's in the chat. Don't see many people in the chat. Wow. Okay. Well, when you do end up in the chat and you end up hearing this, give the stream a little like. Let's see if we can get some more likes than some of the other tiers in terms of YouTube. Hey, someone's joined. I've been talking to myself. Okay, so SD is 14th in the Z4, which we know has been struggling. Then we have Absolute. Like I said, he struggled in the previous round. I don't think he did a single top 10. Needs a bit more consistency. The Lamborghini's quite good around Lago Maggiore, so let's see what he could do. He's only got 13th on the grid here. Big Popper, who was near the front for the whole of Red Bull Ring in the other Lamborghini, again outside the top 10. Jinx, I think did reverse grid pole at Red Bull Ring, but is starting 11th here, and in the Porsche we know it starts pretty slowly, so we'll have some work to do to get that reverse grid pole this week. Fred Monster, a bit better in qualifying than last week, but to be honest, I expected Fred to be a bit better at qualifying, especially in the M6. I think the M6 is still really, really good around Lago Maggiore. Then we have Ningen in the Beninging, in P9 in the Audi, another one that's really strong around here, the Audi. Udele in the BMW and Shook in the Audi. So we've got 2 Audis and 2 BMWs all lining up really close to each other. Joker, much better for Joker in qualifying here. He is 6th in the AMG. Then Revelit in the Ferrari in 5th place, another strong qualifying for him. And same for Blade Runner, our feature race winner, in 4th. Felipe Mazda, actually, this is at 3rd place because there's a little blue flag issue going on. Felipe Mazda in 2nd place, so he's on the front row, and Fracas actually getting pole position in that Ferrari 296. He was on the front row last week as well, so really good qualifying at the moment for Fracas. And then we got Leadfoot, who is actually in 4th place, not 1st place, so it's not actually too different with that blue flag. So let's get this one going. The blue flags don't mean anything in these sprint races. It's all going to be fine. And let's see who gets the best start. It looks like Leadfoot's got an absolutely blistering start. It looks like he might take the lead going into turn 1. We're 3 wide with Revelit trying to get through as well. Fracas dropping back in that 296 with the terrible starts, undoing all the good work that he did. He's in 3rd at the moment. Jocker's up to 4th. Jocker's up to 2nd with a great turn 2. He's trying to hold on to that against Revelit, going the long way around that next corner, but he's got the inside line for the next one, but he's off track, and he's... oh dear. Oh, and Fracas has lost it as well. Okay, we need to go back and see what's been going on here. So into turn 1. Let's actually go all the way back to the start from Jocker. He's starting in 6th place with this AMG. Great start. Leadfoot into the lead. And fully in the lead there. There's Fracas trying to stay in, goes really wide there. You want to stay as tight as possible, even with cars around you. And then Revelit and Jocker, they kind of come together there. Jocker should have really left a bit more space. Now he's stuck on the outside. Looks like he's spinning around Felipe, and everyone else is kind of stuck behind. And Fracas has a spin. So let's see what happened to Fracas. It was all going so well. Started on pole position, and he's probably going to be last because of this spin. He's going to lose it all on his own as well. That's the worst thing. So this is our championship leader. Down to last place, but at the front, Leadfoot is running away with it. Revelit has a big lead, and then you've got everyone else really close behind because of all that jockeying for position. Looks like Jigs, despite being in the Porsche, is up into 6th, so up 5 places already. Great start. You never see that in the Porsche. And everyone else going through the S's section really slowly, tiptoeing through. A bit wide there for Felipe. Big Papa might be able to get alongside. A little bit further up, Jinx and Jocker side by side as well. Oh, a nice little bump there from Udele on Felipe, so that's going to let Felipe get fully ahead of Big Papa. Big Papa's struggling side by side with Fred Monster now, and almost looked like Shook was going to go alongside Jocker. Not sure what happened there with Jocker. He is side by side with Jinx. Let's see. It's actually got a Croatian number plate on his car. Oh, he just gets the corner all wrong. Completely self-inflicted, that one, and now he's down to 10th, so that is a big mistake for Jocker, who had started pretty decently there. Blade Runner just solidly in 3rd, then you got SD up in 4th. That's a huge amount of places gained for Dr. SD. He was outside the top 10, and now he's in 4th place. Jinx 5th, Udele is in 6th, pretty decent start. Fred Monster 7th, Mazda 8th, Big Papa and Jocker are in the top 10. Absolute still struggling down in 12th. You got Quackhouse, Ningin's fallen back. Fracas trying to recover. At least he's got 1 position, but he needs to at least get in the top 10 to salvage something if he wants to stay in the lead of this championship. So everyone finally finishing the first of 8 laps. You've got a bit of battling going on between Absolute and Quackhouse. Quackhouse trying to get a move done on Absolute, actually, and really late on the brakes for Quackhouse, but a little bit slow coming out of the corner. That means Absolute's probably going to keep this one. He does indeed. Jocker getting overtaken by Shook as well here. A lot of work to do for some of these guys to try and get back the positions that they had earlier in the race. But yeah, Jocker's still under a bit of pressure. And he keeps it pretty decently. Now Absolute's going to try and come around as well on the outside. This is a really difficult corner to go around the outside on. Trying to pinch Shook on the inside. This now becomes the outside for Absolute, and he does get the position. He needs to just nail this next corner. Don't go off track and don't lose the momentum, which he hasn't. And that is going to allow him to drive away, and he's just 1 position away from the top 10. Oh, Jocker hits the wall there. I think he was trying to go around the outside and there just wasn't any space for him. Now he's got damage. Absolute might not know that he's got damage. Didn't go for the move there. Big Papa a little bit on the gravel as well. Now Absolute should be able to get this position with the damage on Jocker's car, slowing him down a little bit, which he still has for a few more seconds. So that's top 10 for Absolute. in the Lambo, and I was saying that the Lambos should do all right, and they have both progressed into the top 10 now. Fracas up to 13th as well, so he's picking off drivers left and right. But let's have a look at the top 3. Leadfoot looking very, very comfortable in the NSX as we end lap 2. So this is going to be a high tyre wear sprint race. Some of these guys may be not the best at looking after the tyres, depending on how much experience they have with managing high tyre wear on their cars. Revelit a little bit out of position here. Blade Runner fancying a move around the outside, and he is going to get it by the looks of it. Oh, he's gone really deep, but he still gets the car slowed down, and that should be P2, but Revelit's going to try and come back to him with a better exit. I'm doing Jack's Cobs, because Jack doesn't want to do it anymore, basically. So I'm catching up. But yeah, good overtake there for Blade Runner. So we have the top 2 from the feature race last week at Red Bull Ring in the top 2 in this sprint race here. So potentially looking at 2 of the championship contenders in Leadfoot and Blade Runner. Dr. SD tried his best to catch up to them after a poor qualifying, doing pretty decently there. Jinx doing decently. Felipe Mazda has a half second. That shouldn't drop him down. It looks like Absolute's got past his teammate Big Popper up into 9th as well, so he's on a charge through the field. Fracas is currently in 12th place. Let's see if he can get past Joker. This is still our championship leader. Ooh, that is one of those positions where you really do consider a bit of a dive bomb, but Fracas didn't feel like he could do it there. Right, late into the brakes. Fracas just queuing up behind this big group of cars. You can see, I think that's Felipe Mazda going really deep there. And that's probably going to allow Absolute to maybe think about a move into the last corner, or at least line him up into turn 1. And yeah, not much he could do there. Shuck looks like he's got a run on Fracas though, out of nowhere in the Audi. Fracas braking really late, trying to keep this position, trying to get the advantage into turn 2. Goes deep though, opens the door for Shuck to actually stick a nose in, and Fracas keeps it. Let's have a quick check at the front. So the fastest lap is currently Blade Runner, who's half a second quicker than Leadfoot. Although, no, he was 2/10 quicker than Leadfoot, but actually on that last lap he was 3/10 slower. So they're both lapping fairly similarly. Both lapping a fair bit quicker than Revelit, and Dr. SD is lapping probably quicker than anybody at the moment, so he's still in with a decent shot of a podium here in this sprint race. Jinx also in the 57s, Udale also in the 57s, and Fred Monster actually potentially almost with the fastest lap there, just a 10th shy. Same with Absolute. Absolute is completely on a charge here, and he's still going purple. So a lot of guys going pretty quick, trying to get this fastest lap point as well. A bit further up, there is a overtake for the P5 here between Jinx and Udale. Jinx with a half-second penalty, which will be served on the following lap. Must have got it through the S's. Oh, a little bit of contact there, and Jinx keeps the position. Potentially a push to pass. And now Udale dropping back in, and maybe looking for some support from his teammate Fred Monster. Because if they both stay close to Jinx, they'll both get Jinx in the next penalty zone. Oh, a little bit deep there for Fred Monster. Should open the door for Felipe to try and do a late lunge into turn 1. He needs to get back in the slip to get as close as possible. He's not. He's stayed outside the slip. Fred really late on the brakes. Absolute right behind as well, ready to take advantage of any mistakes. And this is bad for Jinx because he's got 4 cars very, very close behind, which means a lot of drivers might overtake him with this half-second penalty. Big Popper close as well. The 2 Lambos need to get a bit closer to him though, they're a bit too far behind. It's all very close at the front. Frack is still struggling down in 12th, not able to get back through the pack as quickly as he would have liked. And Leadfoot's last lap was a 57.8, half a second slower than Blade Runner, who is now got the fastest lap. Looks like Absolute has managed to get past Fred Monster, who's going slowly. Now he might get overtaken by Big Popper as well. Nearly a spin. Everyone is super close together in this pack. You've got Jocker in 10th now, past Big Popper, trying to get past Fred as well. Fred braking super late. Big Popper even later, but still makes the apex. But Jocker's going to come back at him with a better exit there, and Fracas is actually going to punish him as well. So Fracas only one position away from getting a double pole today. Pole in the sprint, and P10 would be pole in the feature. And he's on for the fastest lap as well. So despite all this traffic, all this carnage going on in the mid-pack, with just 3 and a bit laps to go, Leadfoot's been making a mistake, because look how close Blade Runner is now. He's in the 58s. Blade Runner is set at 56.9, the first person to set a 56 on the night. Let's have a quick look at the tyres. Is anyone really shredding them? Felipe's shredding them a bit more than everyone else. Same for Fred Monster. No one's... Oh, and Quackhouse is really struggling on his tyres, but no one... I don't think anyone should end on completely dead tyres unless they have a bit of a nightmare in these last 3 laps and really push the tyres to the edge and overheat them. So Leadfoot getting hunted down here into the next braking zone after this one in the downhill hairpin. Will be the best position for Blade Runner to try and get it, but he has to stay flat out through the S's. He did lift a little bit, he is a little bit wide. This is a get out of jail free card for Leadfoot. Blade Runner will be having a bit of dirty air now from Leadfoot's car, which does really impact you going through the S's. And he's going to have to be a bit more patient. Leadfoot, since he's been caught, has started driving a bit better, so maybe it was just one dodgy lap there. Revelit not too far back, and SD's closing in on him fairly quickly. SD about 0.3 quicker on that previous lap. And he's managing these softs fairly nicely, to be fair, in the Z4. The drivers in Tier 3 were struggling a lot more to manage the softs than this on the Z4. But yeah, everyone's starting to gap out a little bit now. You got Absolute up to 7th now, with Felipe getting hunted down fairly quickly here. He's got a bit of a run. It's not going to be into turn 1. Fred Monster, look at this, bloody hell. What is going on with all these cars? Four cars jostling for P8. Fracas looks like he's just about to overtake Jinx. And he does, and covers it off very nicely. Now what can Shuck do? He needs to get in that reverse grid position. So Fracas, after his first lap big spin, which sent him from 1st to last, is now back up to 9th. So still will be scoring points in this sprint race, but Jinx coming back at him. Jinx is ahead of him. Fracas needs to try the up and under. Oh, he's going to try and pinch him instead of go the long way around, which gives him the advantage for the next corner, but Jinx with a much better exit, and Shuck, oh, Shuck's in a bad position, he's boxed in. And that means he's going wide, and Fracas should be able to, he needs to keep his foot down here, and he will be able to get Jinx in the run down to the hairpin, because Jinx was out of position at the start of the corner. There we go. So Fracas playing that pretty nicely. Late on the brakes, and Jinx could try. No, he can't. So Fracas with P9 for now. Let's have a little look at the front. Blade Runner has got the lead off Leadfoot. Where did that happen? Is Leadfoot going to make a mistake? Nearly spins it. And that is how the lead of the race changed at the blink of an eye. So now Leadfoot's tried to keep up with Blade Runner, but without a mistake, with just 1 lap to go. Blade Runner with slightly better tyres. It looks like Blade Runner might get this sprint race win. SD dropping off the back of Revelit a little bit now. Udele just solidly in P5, not under any kind of threat from Felipe, who is still holding off Absolute. Oh, Udele just disconnected. Oh, I remember what happened here. There was a couple of disconnections at the end of this race, so Udele is one of them. So now everyone is promoted up an extra position here. Now Felipe and Absolute side by side. Looks like Absolute's going to get up into 5th now with the final lap just starting. Felipe doing pretty well around the outside. And keeps P5 very nicely there. Wackhouse 13th and Big Popper falling really far back at the end of this one. And Fred Monster is saying he's in 14th place, but he is battling with Fracas here. So I'm not sure what's going. Well, he's just disconnected. That might be why. So yeah, we had 3 disconnections there over the space of, I think it was a minute and a half. So that was just unlucky for those guys. Very unfortunate. So that means that in 10th place it is actually Joker. 9th place is Ningen, who's had a nice little recovery in the second half of the race. 8th is Jinx. Frax is up into 7th. And Mazda and Absolute, we have to wait and see what happens here. Absolute with another run. Has to be super late on the brakes here, really brave if he wants to get this one, but Mazda's very late on the brakes and makes the apex nicely. It's going to be a bit slower on the exit because he braked later, and Absolute is going to have a run. And yeah, that might be it. Let's see what's happening at the front. Everyone's closing up to each other, this top 4. But still no overtakes for position. Blade Runner coming into the final corner. And this is going to be a 2nd win in a row for Blade Runner. The feature last week and now the sprint this one. Good drive for Blade Runner. Congrats to him. Leadfoot in P2, another solid result. And Revelit P3. SD in 4th. Felipe driving a the big recovery up into 7th. Jinx in 8th in the end. Ningen getting points as a reserve, and Joker is going to get reverse grid pole. Andy in his first race will be 11th, and then we've got Big Popper and Quackhouse rounding out who finished. So, an interesting one. Unfortunate about the disconnections, but, you know, I wonder. So the one thing that I know about some countries, I'm not sure if this is even relevant, but not center. You know Starlink? Starlink is not very good for GT7 races. People do disconnect a lot because when you go from one satellite to another, there's sometimes a gap that's big enough to make you disconnect. So I'm wondering if all 3 of those have service providers that use Starlink. There's not enough free space. Come on. This is bad. Okay, I'm going to have to stop the stream and start it again because I have to clear some space, then restart the game, and that's going to end